I wake's the only thing that follows me. If this old lake she could talk, she'd tell me all her hidden mystery. I finally found my place.
This is Dave Olson, coming to pick us up in his very own Bush Hawk plane.
Dave, I presume? That's a cool way to get around. We're going to find and rescue a 100-year-old boat. The Orne.
I'm in.
We're just packing a plane. Go for a little ride.
We're going to get a flight out to his homestead, 250 kilometers. It's on the far edge of Great Slave Lake. Dave Olson is a northern legend. He builds his own house. He runs a float plane company. He flies in scientists. He takes care of adventurers. He teaches people how to live on the land. He runs his own dog sled team. He's like the ultimate adventurer in the north.
We made it! Welcome to Hoarfrost.
Did I mention that he runs his dog sled teams? He's been in these like 1,000-mile long races with them. He's a veteran of the Iditarod. You know, as soon as we get off the plane, Terry and I are welcomed right into their home.
What do you got cooking?
We have mousse and muskox spaghetti.
And when we walk in there, we find that they are hosting these Norwegian adventurers who've been out on the land for 2.5 months themselves, and they've been supplied by Dave and Kristen.
We are Kari, and
Dog?
we are from Norway. We have been here in Canada now for 2.5 months.
Yes.
Canoeing.
But it was really a community that was happening out there.
2000, we went down to Gabriel Island near Nanaimo, and there's a Silva Bay Shipyard School was in business then. They had a 7-month course in wooden boat building. Kristen was the first one to realize this. She said, we're never going to build a 30 or 40 foot wooden trading boat at the Hoarfrost. Like, it's enough work just to maintain a wooden freighting boat. Never mind. She said, Dave, you haven't even built the shop that we're going to build the boat in. I started looking at boats that already existed. And we both kind of fell in love with this boat. And I saw it in Wooden Boat magazine, and it was in there month after month, and it kept coming down in price because there's nothing in it. Just a beautifully refinished wooden boat, but somebody brought it over from Denmark in the 1950s. It sailed and was maintained and sort of looked after down in San Francisco Bay up until the late 90s. And so I made Langdon an offer of his asking price by then because it had kept coming down. So then we owned this boat in December of 2004. There was nothing in it. Like, there was no galley, like I've said, none of the fancy stuff. It was just a big, beautiful, refurbished wooden boat with sails and a beautiful new Volvo engine. We put it on a truck in Fraser River. We trucked it to Hay River. NTCL used the crane, put it back in. Kristen flew down. This was 2005. And we brought it here. And it's been here ever since. And we used it for years to haul our dog food from Balthili, 70 miles down the lake, 8,000 pounds of dog food. So we would steam down the bay with the kids and sail down the bay when we could, when the wind was blowing, and come back with our 8,000 pounds of kibble and rice. We got the boat up and we got the engine dried out and we started it and we sailed it that summer, and then that was August of 2016. We hauled it over here. And it's like Doug was saying, you know, we had not only we were running the flying business, we were rebuilding our house. We were coming out of the fire. Kids were going away to college and finishing high school and all of it. It was like the boat just got put on down the list. It was like, wait until the house is built, then turn your attention. So this was the year. This was the year finally, after one false start last year, this was the year when it finally came together. Like in all of June, all we did was walk over the hill and work on that boat. And then we started sliding it in. And that didn't go quite as smoothly as it had in 2010 either, but we got it in, and then this leak just wouldn't go away. Gradually we thought, okay, it's coming in somewhere back here. But this is all filled up with this wax and pitch and oh man, I don't know how many hours have been spent on my knees chipping away down through that stuff to finally get to the keel. And I wish today that, I was kicking myself. I was like, why did I pour all this crap in here? Because if we hadn't had the stuff poured in there, I think it would have been obvious much sooner when it was just the wooden keel.
Well,
it was all cleaned out.
You were away.
I was going away.
You were away for a lot of that time, which is why we,
I was gonna go away the next day, and so we
Yeah.
thought we gotta pour something in there and
Yeah.
try to stop this.
Yeah.
It didn't work. It's a bit of a BandAid. Well, it is a BandAid approach because obviously the way to fix this is to haul the boat out of the water. But
Yeah,
we're not doing
you would
that.
need to
We're not
clean
doing
out that hollow on the inside where all the
Oh,
gunk
yeah.
is
Oh, yeah.
and get right down to
Yeah.
the screw you were playing with.
Yeah. Kristen and I have hoped that we could get it to the point where, like when we consider the boat happy is when you can sleep on the boat and you hear the bilge pump go off maybe twice during the night.
Sure.
Like
Not every minute.
not every 2 minutes, not every 5 minutes, because that's a quart of water.
Yeah.
I think it's our best chance. Thinking that eventually I'm going to see this magical spot.
Yeah.
And the water's just going to be spurting in there, and then where I'm just going to stick something in there and my problem's going to be solved. The next plan, if we can find the leak, the approach to patching it depends on what it looks like. And if it is indeed a localized flaw in the hull or a crack or a seam or a something, then we just, I think, mix up some underwater epoxy paste, smooge it in there, and then cap that with some copper sheathing, which is very thin and pliable, but as a mechanical aid to pressing that stuff and protecting it from mechanical damage from the outside, the epoxy.
So you actually don't see a hole where it comes in, you just see,
No.
is it like trickling behind, trickling
It's like
below?
coming forward from somewhere down where the keel, the frame, and the planking all come together.